I think we are live. Ooh, desktop audio is kind of loud right now. Yep, looks like we're working. Nice, 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 nice. I'm gonna turn that down. Holy shit, that's so loud. Yep, it's been a little over a week now. I wanted to come back with Otome Game Saturday yesterday, but I was busy all day. But I knew I wanted to come live go live and talk about the most recent and final chapter of My Hero Academia today. I thought I was going to be doing that last week because that's when I thought the last chapter was going to come out. I was very mistaken because I was also very confused by the end of that chapter. I was like, this doesn't really seem like the ending of a manga to me. So thank God that it wasn't. I did read the last chapter today. It's really funny. I made the title of the stream was the ending of My Hero Academia bad before I even read the chapter. So at the time, I actually didn't know if it was good or bad. I saw a few leaks online that I didn't want to see, but I did see them. And so I was able to make at least some guesses as to how it was going to go. However, I was surprised in some ways by the ending of My Hero Academia. Oh, this is still too loud for me. Oh my god. How's the sound or the audio sounding for you guys? Is the music too loud? Am I too loud? Is the balance okay? Is the music too quiet? I would like to know all of that and more. Yep, so I did read it. I also read the new Jujutsu Kaisen chapter. Eventually, I'm thinking maybe there could be a Sunday-ly show where every Sunday when new chapters from Shonen Jump come out, we could talk about what happened that week. Assuming that maybe Shonen Jump gets interesting again after all of these super long-running, hard-hitting hype series start to die off and end one by one. No more My Hero Academia. Though we are going to talk about a potential future for Kohei Horikoshi, the mangaka behind My Hero Academia. So we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. Probably not going to be the longest stream in the world because there is currently a tornado warning in my area, as well as I'm getting slammed by a tropical storm. So between, potential, house getting blown away, as well as just other other issues that my power could go out, Wi-Fi could be taken out. So hopefully the stream doesn't end abruptly. And also, God, I have to take this god-awful medication that's like weakening my immune system, so that's another reason it probably won't be the longest stream on the planet. But what's up, Universe? How are you doing? Sleepy as well, I see you there. I haven't been caught up with my My Hero Academia ever, so hearing this is going to be a surprise. And what is up with JJK? Oh, we're going to get into all of that. I guess what I could do. So I wanted to originally read the full chapters of both My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen on stream. However, I do believe that it is possible to get in trouble for doing that. I know I've been doing it with One Piece, and I haven't run into any issues before, but I have seen people in the past have their entire channels, like, nuked for reading full mangas, like manga chapters live on stream. Because technically, even though I would argue to say that it is fair use is unfortunately an incredibly flimsy argument in court and anywhere. What the fuck? I'm using Stream Beats right now for stream music, and here, I'm gonna change real quick. This is still, I guess, Stream Beats music, but I thought I was in a lo-fi playlist. I feel like that does not fit the vibe of a live stream. So I'm gonna quickly, playlists. There is a lo-fi playlist here. Default playlist. What the fuck happened here? There are only 2 songs in this? I guess all the other videos are hidden now. Yo, that's fucked up. Oh, Zizu, what's up, brother? How are you doing? Good to see you. God damn, it's been forever. Let me see. Stream Beats is supposed to be like goated. What the fuck happened? Where's my lo-fi? To be fair, we don't really need music for the stream, but I feel like it would help. It says there's 243 songs in this playlist, but only 2 are available. Unavailable are hidden. That's fucked up. Alright, whatever, fuck it. We don't even need it. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna get rid of that. Alright, so my first impression, I'll say this because I mentioned earlier that I did not read the newest chapter of My Hero Academia until after I already created the stream and said, is it bad? Who knows? We'll discuss it. I did see a few leaks online against my own will. People saying that Izuku Midoriya is going to be flipping burgers. And, you know, he essentially ends the manga quirkless, bitchless. And there's basically very little closure to some aspects of the story. At least those were the leaks I saw online. I also saw... Here, let me go to this. I'll move my face as well. I saw this last page right here, this last panel. And I was like, damn, is that really how it's going to end? Because it says right here that then I'd say this is all the tale of how he became the greatest heroes. My Hero Academia at the end. He doesn't even become the #1 hero. Super fucked up, right? Oh wait, here, I want to actually move this back. There we go. That's how I thought it was gonna end. And if that were the case, I would have been a little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. And when I saw this, I was disappointed. I was like, okay, so essentially, you know, there's a time skip, and, you know, he was supposed to have this whole romance arc with Ochako. What happened with that? And I know a lot of people are actually shitting on that online. And, you know, obviously, it seems like that's not what's gonna happen. Also, what's up, Temer? Oh, and Zizu, no worries at all, brother. Honestly, I've been too busy to stream. So, you know, it's... it happens to all of us. MHA says you don't have to be #1 to be great. You're so right about that. You're so right. And yeah, so essentially, my initial reaction to the final chapter, to the ending of My Hero Academia, was disappointment. Before reading it, I was disappointed. However, upon reading it... there we go. This is what I wanted. Upon reading the final chapter, I guess I have to... Not you guys stay there, actually. Fuck. Here. I wonder if I can Control-Z that back into place. There we go. Me. I want to move me. This, I was disappointed by. However, if you turn the page... the fake-out ending with All Might grabbing the end and crushing it in his hand and offering Izuku a way to still be a hero and to go on and still fulfill his dream, even though 8 years after this, or 6 years, however many years after the story ends, he loses all of his powers and is a quirkless beta cuck again. He is offered the chance to be powerful again by using a super-powered suit, using technologies that could probably make anyone really powerful now. I guess they could say, like, the one thing holding everyone back from being super powerful heroes is that it's probably incredibly expensive, and the only reason he was able to do it was because his class came together, his friends came together, and because he's such a legendary hero, they want him to still be all powerful and be able to save people's lives with all of his friends. So, you know what? I actually... Here, we can look at the last page too, because it's wholesome. I liked this. I'm not gonna lie. This was pleasing. I thought this was fun. I did not think that was a bad ending. As well as I have heard rumors that there is potentially a My Hero Academia related announcement coming August 10th in Japan, August 9th for us in the States. Take that with a grain of salt. I don't know if we're going to be getting My Hero Academia The Next Generations or My Hero Academia Part 2, Our Hero Academia. I don't know what's going on with that, but I did hear through the grapevine that there is potentially going to be news revolving around Kohei Horikoshi and My Hero Academia in general. Yeah, I didn't think it was a bad ending. I don't think it was an eventful ending. You know what I would have preferred? If you guys remember how Tokyo Ghoul ended, MHA Boruto, it was definitely an ending of all time. Yeah, well, I will say it's not the best ending of anything really. It's not, but it's not bad in my opinion. I do wish he kind of pulled a Sui Ishida with Tokyo Ghoul, and how Sui Ishida went through like every character and said, this is what they're doing now. I feel like I saw a lot of people online complaining about how we don't really know what's going on with like a bunch of characters. There's so many characters who really didn't get the closure that everyone desired. You didn't get to see what happens with Deku and Ochako. You don't get to see how their lives progress after the story, which I feel like is like a big thing for manga endings, anime and manga endings. But yeah, we didn't get that, which makes me think maybe, I mean, if there is a part 2, that I guess that's pretty cool. I'll probably keep up with it if it's good. What's up, G Satori? How are you doing? Yeah, and I was thinking about it before I read this as well. Even if the ending is bad, which I don't think it is bad, but even if it were bad, there are lots of endings to series, legendary series, that are publicly viewed as undesirable or not great. Like Game of Thrones, and I'm certain you guys all remember Attack on Titan. And that ending was publicly panned when the ending for the manga first dropped. After story similar to what Demon Slayer did. You know what? I actually saw people who didn't like the Demon Slayer ending either. I would say this ending was about as satisfying as the Demon Slayer ending, which is satisfying. It was satisfying. I liked the Demon Slayer ending. And I liked this one. It's not great. Like, it's not Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or Full Metal Alchemist the manga. But it's still like, it's happy. It's a happy ending, and I personally, as much as I love dark media, I'm a sucker for a happy ending. And so I'm glad it ended this way. But if you think about media that had publicly panned, critically received endings like Attack on Titan, I would go as far as to say, is one of the most legendary, just best anime and manga series of all time. It's up there. It's amazing. No denying that. And even though the ending really wasn't great, it still doesn't really take away from what is just a generationally massive and just work of art of a series. Whenever you think of Attack on Titan, some people, it could be ruined for them. Like Game of Thrones is ruined for me, at least the show is, because the last 2 seasons, it felt like it just kind of pitifully fizzled out, and it I feel like that just kind of ruins the entire thing for me. But with Attack on Titan, it was, how many chapters were there? What was it, 130 something, 129, 130 something? The Attack on Titan ending, it was like 130 or so really good chapters, like amazing chapters, and then one pretty bad chapter. And I don't think the one pretty bad chapter ruins the entire thing. And I think with My Hero Academia has been a phenomenal, I know people will disagree with me on that, but My Hero Academia has been such a cultural phenomenon for the past 10 years. And I feel like there are so many big moments. The villain arc, which is my personal favorite My Hero Academia arc of all time. The war arc, which had some of the craziest moments in My Hero Academia history. Shigaraki breaking free and just absolutely Thanos snapping an entire city. And then the most recent arc, I know people criticized for being somewhat messy. But I still thought it was pretty good. It's one of those things where this ending, for me, it doesn't take away from the building blocks of the series so far, which is why I like it. I think, you know, it's a good way to end it as any while still being good. It could have ended better, but, you know, who knows? Kohei Horikoshi is, I believe he is a fantastic mangaka. He has one of the most unique art styles in anime and manga. I would say his art style is up there in charm and iconicness with Oda for One Piece. I mean, obviously Oda Sensei's art style is so it's so iconic. Like, you could see anything he draws, be like, that's so Oda Sensei. And then you look at Kohei Horikoshi, and I know it's cringe to use honorifics when you're speaking English. I get it, but you know, it's just the right thing to do, I guess. But with Kohei Horikoshi Sensei, whatever you want to call him, his art style, I believe, is equally iconic. All mangaka have something that makes them unique. You know, I could say, I know all of us are probably Chainsaw Man fans, Fujimoto fans. Fujimoto's art style, incredibly iconic. And that's something, you know, you don't really get a lot of in manga these days, especially shonen manga. Art styles that are so unique to a particular artist. I feel like that is the pinnacle of being a good mangaka, a good artist, is when you have an art style that is so unique to you, people can see it and they'll be like, Horikoshi, Fujimoto, Oda, all of these iconic big name mangaka. Also, I know I've been ignoring chat, sorry guys, but I have to yap a bit. And I feel like that's something that can, no matter, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I know a lot of people don't like My Hero Academia. I tweeted out earlier this week as a joke, keep crying haters, but you know, you're allowed to hate it. If you don't like it, that's fine with me. I don't give a fuck. I liked it, whatever. But I feel like one thing that can never be taken away from all of these mangaka and these artists, no matter how panned their series is you know, their art style is so unique to them. You know, another one, a fantastic example of this, in my opinion, because I can name a bad manga that has a really unique and amazing art style. Fuck, I just don't remember the name of it. Do you remember? Was it Earthchild? It was really bad. It only lasted like 16 chapters. Oh, actually, you know what? I used to cover Ayashimon by it wasn't Yuki Nobutatsu. That's Dandadan. God, who fucking wrote Ayashimon? It was the same guy that did Hell's Paradise. I'll remember his name in a bit. But his art style is so unique, iconic, classic. The character design from Ayashimon was so good. It's just too bad that Ayashimon itself sucked ass. And you know, but you can't take it away from the mangaka. I know if someone can remember his name, I'll feel super dumb for not remembering it. But let me quickly catch up with chat real quick. Bro, coming up, we're gonna be in the era of doomer bittersweet endings, like how JJK is going and other similar titles, and CSM would get. I very much agree with that, Zizu. And see, I don't know if you had seen the public safety special broadcast where we talked about this. Secret Dove, someone that I collaborate with a lot, who owns that podcast, he's talking about how he thinks Chainsaw Man is going to get a part 3, and it's going to be a trilogy, because Fujimoto is such a classic film cinephile. So I could see, at least for JJK, I absolutely see that coming to fruition with a bittersweet ending. But Chainsaw Man, I wouldn't be surprised if part 2 ends soon and in a very sad, not happy way, and then it's gonna have a part 3 that will kind of tie everything together. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Honestly, Jujutsu Kaisen fight needs to end. The Sukuna fight is getting too long. We're gonna get to that. I did read the new chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen as well, and I wish I could be as happy with JJK as I am with My Hero Academia. And we'll absolutely. I'm gonna save a decent chunk of time to talk about that. I know in the title it says we could talk about it a little as a treat. We're gonna talk about it decently extensively as well. Yeah, it wasn't Light Night. Also, what's up, Light Night? Attack on Titan wasn't ruined, but it was downgraded. I would agree with that. I think, you know what? Because Attack on Titan for so long is like a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 manga. And then the last chapter is like kind of like a 5. And you know what, though? If you have 138 chapters of consistent 9 or 10 out of 10, and then the last chapter be like a 5 or 4, even though that chapter carries a lot more weight than the previous 138, it doesn't bring it down that much. It downgrades a little bit. I'll agree with that. It definitely does downgrade it. Yeah, Hikari versus Uraume is going to be wild. I don't know if we're ever going to see that, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if that just serves to just be commentary on the main fight at this point. Suisha got to be scrambling after Jujutsu Kaisen ends because they're running out of huge blockbuster manga lately. Yeah, and you know what? I haven't been too blown away by anything new. Kaguya Bachi, I read a little bit when it started coming out, and I know it's, doing really well in the West because of meme culture and because, it's an edgy story with, I would actually say, good art. I feel like Kaguya Bachi has very Kohei Horikoshi inspired art. But I'm not a fan of it, really. I can't get into it. I've been thinking about making a video about one of the reasons I can't get into it. I'm making a list of like anime and manga pet peeves I have, and one of the reasons I can't get into Kaguya Bachi is because of a huge pet peeve. But I'll get into that later. Yeah, part 3 I can absolutely see happening. I didn't see it before. I thought maybe it would end with part 2 because I knew that Fujimoto was a Sui Ishida fan, and Sui Ishida did 2 parts for his manga, so I was thinking maybe he's following suit with Sui Ishida. But no, I could see part 3 because he's a bigger fan of movies than he is of Ishida. I think the last 10 chapters are like a 5 out of 10, not just the last one. I remember seeing a lot of criticism when Attack on Titan was still monthly. I remember seeing a lot of criticism of the final arc as it was coming out. I still enjoyed it. I remember there was the chapter where Mikasa and fucking what's her name, Annie, are working together. And I think it was Mikasa that says, "Get that Okapi" or something. And people were super mad about how like silly it seemed. I kind of liked it though. And I think that was also the chapter where Levi finally gets his revenge on Zeke. And I thought that was like one of the, in my opinion, that's one of like the best moments in Attack on Titan for me. I think it was so like silly. It was satisfying to me, even though I know it probably wasn't satisfying to everyone. But I actually did like that. I do understand the criticism people had of the entire last arc of both Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia. I do understand the criticism. I guess it's just a personal preference that I don't feel like it was like that bad. I feel like if Attack on Titan kind of stuck the landing and didn't try to backpedal a bit on Aaron's like villainy, I would probably regard it as a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 manga. It might have even gone down as like my favorite manga of all time if that had happened. Because I could see, I guess I could agree that the quality dipped with the last few chapters in general. But if it ended in a more satisfying way, it would have been a 10 out of 10, I think, for me. Do you know the manga Red Hood? It got axed a couple years ago, but it was definitely a series with a unique. I did. I read a little bit of Red Hood because I heard about it as it was being axed. Because I remember on Twitter, everyone was very, very upset about it getting axed, and I went back and tried to read it, and the art style was great. I really did think the art style was great, but I did see why it got axed. I did not think it was very engaging, aside from the art style, or maybe I just didn't like the concept. But Shonen Jump does like to go crazy with the axing of series. That was a fine ending. It didn't really detract or add from the series. Yeah, I agree. If we're talking about My Hero Academia still, I think, yeah, it's a great ending. This is a 430 chapter manga. That's what, if Kohei Horikoshi is gonna go with a part 2 for My Hero Academia, this is a long series, and I can't imagine him doing another like 400, 500 chapter manga after this. This is the accumulation of over 10 years of work and effort, and almost working himself to death, really. I can't see him doing it again, but maybe if he did want to do like an after story where all the what happens with all the heroes, My Hero Academia as adults, that would be pretty cool. But I just can't see him doing it like he's doing it, but like he has been doing it. Maybe he could do something like Fujimoto, where he could do it with web manga on Jump Plus and release it at a more healthy schedule, not just weekly. He could take breaks when he wants, but if he were to do a long series again, it would probably take 3 decades as opposed to the 1 decade it took to get through My Hero Academia now. Was My Hero Academia canceled? No, it just ended. It's one of their most popular series. Yeah, they definitely would never axe it. It just got canceled. Or not canceled. It just ended. It just had I feel like it was a run-of-the-mill, pretty good ending. Red Hood was going good for a couple chapters, but fumbled the bag by having a training arc instead of going to fight monsters. Yeah, you know what? I hate to bring it back to Attack on Titan right now, because I know I'm supposed to be talking about My Hero Academia and then Jujutsu Kaisen, and now we're talking about Red Hood. But similarly, because My Hero Academia, the anime adaptation was actually out of order compared to the manga. So in the manga, or in the anime, it starts with that amazing first episode where it shows Aaron's origin story as to how he got where he is. And then the next chapter is essentially Aaron's training, or the next episode of the anime is essentially Aaron's training arc as he trains to become a scout. But in the manga, it actually, if I remember correctly, it skips that entire thing. It skips his training arc. So he starts as a kid and then he's a scout. And then it goes back to the training arc before Marco's death to make Marco's death hit a little harder. And I remember, like, because I watched I showed Attack on Titan to so many friends, and when you watch it once and then you get to the training arc in episode 2, I think it spans episode 2 and 3, you're just like, come on, let's get through this and get to the good stuff. Whereas in the manga, it just skipped right to it, which I think maybe it works better for manga to be more engaging if you skip all the training arcs and then go back to it later for a flashback. But in anime, I think it might work a little better, and I could see that being kind of a big hole in the hull of the Red Hood ship that brought it down. Yeah, so Marxist, I don't think I said hi to you yet. Hello, Marxist, how are you doing? Yeah, I mentioned earlier that I kind of wish it got like a Tokyo Ghoul style epilogue where it just says, like, there's a time skip and then it says what everyone's doing while not leaving it up to implication or a next part of the manga to clarify things. But who knows? If there is an announcement on August 10th or whenever, I'm interested to see what's going to happen. What do you think Oda's going to do after One Piece? He's going to buy a yacht. He's going to fuck off. He's going to do whatever he wants. He's Oda fucking, what is it, Eiichiro Oda? Yeah, he's Eiichiro Oda. He's going to do whatever he wants. He's probably like the richest mangaka. Actually, no, isn't the richest mangaka, oh god, what's her name? Rumiko Takahashi, who did Inuyasha, Urusei Yatsura, and Ranma 1/2. Also, aren't they remaking Ranma 1/2? That's gonna be kind of hype. I think she's the richest mangaka of all time because she's written so many iconic series. But yeah, they're both really rich, so they can do whatever they want. I feel like Oda, because One Piece is so long running, and I say this as someone who is only like 50 something chapters in, because One Piece is so long running and iconic, like it's gonna go down as probably the best manga of all time. I can say, like, I haven't even fucking read the entire thing, and I can say that's probably what's gonna happen. It's just so iconic. It is beloved by millions and millions of people, tens of millions of people all over the world. I wouldn't even be surprised if it was hundreds of millions of people. I'm pretty sure there are more copies of One Piece in circulation than there are Harry Potter. I think One Piece has outsold Harry Potter, which, I mean, there are 7 Harry Potter books and there are over 100 One Piece volumes. However, I still think that's like a huge accomplishment for Eiichiro Oda. Yeah, it's just like, no matter how it ends, One Piece could have like the dog shittest ending of all time, which I'm not convinced that's not what's gonna happen, because it's just been, once you're 1,200 chapters into your manga, and you've been hyping this surprise, you know, like treasure chest at the end of the rainbow, like, what can it even be that would still be satisfying? You know, what could the One Piece be? Not that I know. I only know like a few things. I have people spoil One Piece for me all the time, but and it's 27th anniversary recently. One Piece is older than me. I'm kind of like, I'm kind of getting up there. I'm kind of starting to become Unk now. I'm reaching my Unk status. But yeah, One Piece is older than me. I very much agree with that, Zizu. There have been so many like flops recently. I get, like, with the new batch of Shonen Jump manga that come out every like other quarter or something. I feel like they lack the excellent planning and maybe a good editor or a good team. So I have a feeling that we're gonna keep getting kind of flops until there's something generational that comes. Because, you know, if you think about it, there are lots of new Shonen Jump manga each year. Lots of new, and this has been a thing for decades now, where there will be lots of attempts at new series. But for every like 10 to 20 to even 30 new series, you'll get one Kagurabachi. You'll get one Ruri Dragon. But for every like 100 series, you'll get My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, One Piece, Naruto. Has Kagurabachi been good outside the initial hype? I haven't. I mean, I just like Kagurabachi is like the light example of, because I haven't read it. I didn't like Kagurabachi very much aside from the art style, but I feel like this is like a light example where of how every now and then we'll get a hype new manga that doesn't get axed, and then very rarely will we get something that defines a generation, you know? Yeah, I did hear that Oda said that we're in the last arc right now, or the last saga of One Piece. But I just can't imagine what is gonna be. I know this is gonna for those that have been up to date with my One Piece experience. I know this is way too soon for me to know this, but I know about like the spirit of Joy Boy or whatever. I know that's a thing that people talk about. I don't know all the details about it. Unfortunately, I've had quite a lot of One Piece spoiled for me, even though like probably in context it's a lot. There's probably a lot more. Sorry, I'm just adjusting. You know, I'm sitting in the cuck chair right now. That's usually in my corner. I'm sitting in a fucking foldable chair on stream. Just kind of fun. At this point, Oda could do side stories for the major to semi-major characters and then expand on the world building and have a multi-year running series. His bloodline is set for life. Yeah, he could. That's what I want. Ryoko Kui from Dungeon Meshi. Now that Dungeon Meshi's over, which I believe is a 10 out of 10 manga, I want her to do like spin-off stories about the other characters in Dungeon Meshi, like Fionil and Donnie. I know people have said online they want like a dungeon crawling rom-com about them, which I completely agree with. I have like months and months of anime and manga takes that because I just haven't streamed in forever, that I haven't given to you guys yet, which is really, really funny. Yeah, Dungeon Meshi, like GOAT. Probably like one of my favorite series of all time now. I still stand Kindergarten Wars. Oh, dude, you know, Zizu, remember when I read Mama Yu Yu and I said I said this like ages ago that I was going to read Kindergarten Wars, and I still haven't. I'm going to look that up. I think that's what I'm going to do after this stream. I would read it on stream, but I'm afraid of getting in trouble by I don't want Shueisha to take me down. So I know I told you I'd read that like months ago. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because now I remember that. Sakamoto Days and Dandadan are going to be the forefront of shonen when they get their adaptations in terms of popularity. You want to know something fun? Even though it contains a lot of shonen tropes, Dandadan is actually a seinen manga because of how hard it is to read. I have a few volumes of Dandadan. I bought them because I wanted to use them to help me study Japanese. Couldn't read a single fucking thing. It's too difficult. Dandadan, though, is amazing. Fuck, I want to talk about Dandadan, actually. I think Tuesday, I'll do a stream for the most recent Dandadan arc and Chainsaw Man as well. I think we'll talk about that on Tuesday. Might as well. Fuck it, YOLO, right? Oda hasn't fumbled in a major way so far, so I'm sure he'll make it work. That's what I've been thinking. Oda, I used to say this about Marvel as well, which it didn't play out for Marvel, could play out for Oda. With Marvel, there is such a, I used to say there's such a budget behind the writing, the production, and everything in Marvel movies, where pre-Endgame, I used to think they could not possibly fail. They could not put out a bad movie because they know what works at this point. They have the money to make everything good. They can hire all the best writers there are, and it has to be good. It has to be. They are the good franchise. Obviously, that didn't hold up. But with One Piece, it has been planned for almost 30 years by Eiichiro Oda and, whoever he works with. It cannot be bad. He can, like, if the ending of One Piece is bad, lives are at stake, honestly. That sounds like a threat, which not a threat, but like I could see, people would die for One Piece. I'm not gonna lie, I could see people dying for One Piece, because it's just that iconic, influential, and generational. So it can't be bad. I think he has something in mind, and no matter what it is, my physical brain cannot comprehend what Eiichiro Oda could possibly be planning. With my limited knowledge of One Piece, I cannot comprehend what light at the end of the tunnel can be that good. But he must know something. Yeah, the fans will absolutely make threats. There are crazy people everywhere in every fandom. Yeah, the Dandadan is real. Fucking excited for that. Yeah, essentially completed with Endgame. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna keep it real. I saw I'm gonna sound like such a normie when I say this. I saw the new Deadpool. I really liked it. I've seen it twice now because I liked it so much. And I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals, as well as I am a normie that was excited when I heard Robert Downey Jr. was coming back to the MCU. I can't believe I'm saying this on stream. I'm fucking outing myself as a normie. And I was kind of excited. I was like, damn, Marvel Rivals is a huge W in my opinion. Deadpool was a huge W. And I guess bringing Robert Downey Jr. back is kind of exciting. I'm such a fucking normie, dude. I'm such a normie. It kind of like renewed a little bit of excitement and took away a little bit of my superhero fatigue. A bad One Piece ending might cause a global riot. Also, what's up, Nubo? How you doing? Yeah, I could see that. Oh, you know what? Let's talk a little bit about Jujutsu Kaisen. While we're here. the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about with Jujutsu Kaisen was this page right here. Oh shit, no, I don't want to move chat. I want to move me. This might be the best art I've seen in Jujutsu Kaisen in years. When I talk about I'm not, obviously I am untalented. I will admit it. I'm untalented. I could not even draw the worst of Jujutsu Kaisen panels. I couldn't. However, when I talk about iconic art styles in anime and in manga and from mangaka, I gotta say it, I don't like Jujutsu Kaisen art. Except for this was really hard. This went hard. Right here. I fuck with that. Yeah, so that was my first impression after reading this. I also heard that the like super infamous Jujutsu Kaisen translator, I think his name's like John Weary or something, I don't remember his name. Apparently he was the one that translated it, and he actually did a good job, is what people are very surprised about. At least I saw I think it was a Lego, someone I've worked with before on a podcast. I think he tweeted about that, and I do agree that pretty good translation. Kind of goated. I'm glad Gege is liking the series again. He's probably liking it more than I am, unfortunately. I know JJK has some serious ride or dies, diehard fans, and I know that they kind of like actually fucking like full body tackle. Not actually, metaphorically full body tackle over the internet people who have any criticism of the series. I'm not liking it. I'm just not liking it anymore. I originally considered Jujutsu Kaisen to be one of my all-time favorite manga, up there with like Chainsaw Man and whatnot. The first few arcs are probably pretty close to 10 out of 10s. But I do feel like the Culling Game arc, and then it got better at the beginning of I feel like the Sukuna fight. I think there's a lot of really hype shit. I think the Gojo thing was definitely a bullshit ass pull, but you know, it's one of those things where when you make your power scaling system so well defined, you put so much effort into it, and then you go back and kind of fuck with it a little too much, it kind of, I guess it's subverting expectations in an unsatisfying way. That's my problem that I had with a lot of JJK. And there are some cool things that have happened since the infamous 236. I think some of the coolest chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen have happened since then, actually. The Kenjaku ending with the comedian guy, I thought there were like two chapters, a 2-chapter run where he was defeated by the comedian guy. Those are the two best chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen of all time. Also, I'm pretty sure, did this chapter confirm a certain character's death that we've been kind of on the fence about for a while? Because there's like a lineup of dead characters, and I'm pretty sure this character was there. Oh, Ro, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for adding me to your list on Twitter. I think Gege does better colored art than normal art. I would agree with that. Except for this chapter. This chapter is goated in art, but I think his colored art is better. I agree. JJK fans have Stockholm Syndrome at this point. I see why people like it. I do. I do feel like it's... If you like fight scenes, this manga is essentially all fight scenes. Also, what's up, Lloydro? How are you doing? Yeah, exactly. And also, you know what? I will say, in a lot of different manga, fight scenes get really obscured. Like, I love Tokyo Ghoul. It's almost impossible to tell what's going on in any given fight scene. But with Jujutsu Kaisen, one praise I'm going to give it, it has some of the best fight scenes in all of manga history, in my opinion. They're clean, except for when they're not. when Gege Akutami's like worked himself to death and can't finish a chapter. But a lot of the times the fights are really clean. You can tell what's going on. There's like choreography. This guy knows his fight scenes. But I think that character is confirmed dead in a recent exhibition. Fuck it. All right. Well, there it is. That is one of the most mismanaged characters in the history of manga. I'm going back to criticizing him, actually. I was just praising him. We're going back to criticism. Mismanaged completely. Like, you could say that, you know, when Fushiguro is like didn't say anything when Itadori asks how she was doing, but terribly fucking mismanaged. I'm not gonna lie. You could spin it in any way. There's no convincing me that there was anything good about how that was written. However, I couldn't do any better. I'll admit this. Me criticizing Jujutsu Kaisen, you could absolutely go as far. You could say like, okay, well, you couldn't write anything like this, and you're right. I couldn't. Still, I don't think it's good. That's just not good. JJK is like power system soup. Gege creates super deep systems when it ultimately means jack shit in reality. Proof of that is they cut half of the explanations in the anime and it works. I'm not gonna lie. So Shibuya incident is like my favorite or second favorite Jujutsu Kaisen arc. I didn't even finish it, the anime. It's because I've read it already. I mean, I don't know. What am I gonna see in the anime that I don't already know? But I mean, if it's better for it, then I'll probably go back and rewatch or watch it. JJK is king when it comes to action and different abilities clashing with each other, so it gives what shonen fans who are solely in it for the fights what they really want. I agree, and I think it does a great job of that. Absolutely. You know, I cannot criticize Jujutsu Kaisen for what I praise Dungeon Meshi for. What I praise Dungeon, and I made an entire video about it. It performed really, really well. But you know, what I love about Dungeon Meshi is that there is a reasonable explanation for everything, and I could say I like that about Jujutsu Kaisen as well. As much as I hate reading fucking paragraphs over a black screen for entire panels that do happen in Jujutsu Kaisen, I like to know how things work, and I like that Gege Akutami puts the time and effort into explaining it. I think where Gege Akutami went wrong is he put too much time into that aspect and not enough time into how it's going to play out. I feel like, you know, there's a lot of time he spent on, if characters were put together in this specific way, how would it play out realistically within the confines of the world he's created? Except for, I still call bullshit on the Gojo Sukuna fight. Still call bullshit on it. But, yeah. He's done that really well. He's done that amazingly, actually. Can you give me the most complete summary of the series in the most simplest terms, as if I'd woken up from a coma? I have never read or watched Jujutsu Kaisen, so I don't get it. How I used to say it, it was like anime Harry Potter meets the movie Constantine with Keanu Reeves. It's like I guess like that's the best explanation I can give it. If I were to give like an elevator pitch for what Jujutsu Kaisen is at its core, there's a lot more to it. Also feel like Mashl's more of anime Harry Potter, but there are a lot of similarities to Constantine with Keanu Reeves. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that movie. I might be like dating myself right now by saying that. I'm confirming myself as Unk. Oh yeah, Tsumiki's, what is it? Tsumiki? Yeah, Tsumiki's character was very much a miss. I know he admitted that. Yeah, you said that as well, Temer. Yeah, he admitted it. Yeah. I didn't finish Shibuya in the anime because that's when 236 dropped, so I was pissed at JJK altogether. That might have been what happened to me too. I don't really remember. You know what? Actually, kind of, it was 236, and then right when I was about to start watching the anime again, the results for the anime awards came out, and Jujutsu Kaisen had like a complete sweep over the Crunchyroll anime awards, and I was like, fuck that. It does not deserve it. I mean, to be fair, I'm biased. I didn't even finish season 2, but I had a lot of series that I really liked. And I, you know, I was pissed that Jujutsu Kaisen won like 13 of the categories, so I just didn't go back and rewatch anything. Oh, good. Okay. So you know Constantine. That's good. Yeah. It's essentially, a teenage boy kind of gets thrown into this world of monsters and evil spirits, and he has to learn how to exorcise them. Though in the process, he himself gets possessed by, or he has to share his body with one of the most powerful and evil spirits of all time. That's like, I feel like if you know Constantine, that's the best way I can put the basic concept of Jujutsu Kaisen. Crunchyroll Anime Awards are a popularity contest anyway. Well, you know what I saw? I think I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure the Anime Awards is like half. Your vote only half counts in the actual voting portion. Because if it was just a popularity contest, Jujutsu Kaisen would have won every single category, because it's by far the most popular. But I'm pretty sure there is like a panel of judges who also vote, and their vote matters a lot more. If I'm not incorrect, I could be wrong about that. And so even though it was a massive popularity contest for Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are like on the Crunchyroll panel also voted for Jujutsu Kaisen. I know this next upcoming year for the Anime Awards, it's going to be a Freeren sweep, but that would actually be well deserved. I'm not going to lie. Even though I want Dungeon Meshi to do really well, I can't lie. Freeren that is a generational anime experience. I think it's still the top of my anime list right now. Let me check actually. My anime list. One second, gamers. Top anime. Number one anime is still Freeren. See that shit? 9.34 over Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood's 9.09. Also, Steins Gate, very, very deserved third place. Fantastic. I need to rewatch Steins Gate. Oh yeah, well, I got you guys here. Few things I wanted to go over for the future. Constantine is Dandadan. I see a little bit of Constantine and Dandadan. Yeah, they are a bit of a joke, aren't they, Ro? I have a boomer take about new gen series lately. A lot of them are contradictions, which is why I can't get into them. Could you elaborate on that? Because I think I agree with what you're trying to say, but I need you to explain like I'm 5, because I think I get it, but I'm not sure if I do or not. JJK's biggest problem is it feels like it's been in its climax arc for nearly 3 years and it still feels rushed. Holy fuck. That might be the best way I've ever seen it put. I absolutely do agree with that, Zizu. I feel like both of us may get like flamed for saying that, but I do agree. I like how you're always able to put things into words like way better. You put my thoughts into words, you organize them, and then you say it. I'm pretty sure you were also the one behind the iconic line of saying power scaling Chainsaw Man is a fool's errand. I think is like the hardest line anyone's ever dropped about Chainsaw Man. Yeah, the decisions are based on your votes, and there's a panel of judges that vote as well. I think the weight of their votes is 30%. I could be wrong in the percent, though. That would make sense as to, then it probably was just a popularity contest if it only weighed 30%, because, you know, even if the judges voted completely against Jujutsu Kaisen, at that point, what is that going to do, you know? I wonder if Freeren will have an overarching plot or will keep being a series of miscellaneous adventures. I kind of hope it stays miscellaneous adventures. Like, there is sort of a plot that they're going to get to heaven at some point. I'm not caught up with the manga yet. I know I wanted to. I liked Gigok made his Freeren video, which actually, if you pause at a certain time in the Gigok video, you can see my video. However, he mentioned that that's part of what makes it so good, is that sure, there is a destination at the end of Free Ren, kind of. It really is all about the journey. No matter what, like, you know, they take breaks and we see what happens in the breaks. And that's like a huge part of the appeal of it. Demon Slayer has demons, but the Slayers don't have powers. Attack on Titan, the main characters have monsters. They are also the monsters. JJK MC is fighting evil spirits, but he's the most evil spirit. Okay, yeah, no, I get what you mean. I mean, people would go. Some people would say that the Demon Slayers have powers, sort of, but not in the truth. I mean, like obviously the fire and water and all of their elements are all in their head. They're not real. But I do like, you know, Tokyo Ghoul. Ken Kaneki is a human. I keep bringing up Tokyo Ghoul. It's because it's like my favorite series of all time. Ken Kaneki is a human that gets turned into a ghoul, and then he has to fight ghouls and humans. I do think contradictions have kind of become overdone. Like, in order to defeat a monster, you yourself have to become the monster. Kaiju number 8. Lots of that. So it's not. It wasn't initially what I thought you were talking about, but I do agree that there is a lot of to beat a monster, you have to become the monster. And I feel like it'd be nice if there were like more popular series that kind of abandon that or go off of the beaten path, take the road less traveled. Oh, okay, so Free Run does have an overarching plot. It just is in the background and pops up during large acts. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Marxist, I would agree with that. I don't know. For me, like, Chainsaw Man feels like people never really compare these series, but I would actually go as far as to say, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures and Chainsaw Man share quite a lot of similarities, in the way that they're like set up, where they're like subversion of expectations, the manga, where it is impossible. You're given such vague ideas for the world, and because of that, Fujimoto and Araki can do whatever the fuck they want with it. And I think, though, we're now coming, the more we learn about like Chainsaw Man's powers, for example, it was brought up recently, and this has been a big fan theory for a while. I know you guys have brought this to my attention. They brought up recently how the original use of chainsaws was to assist in helping women give birth. And that was just recently brought up in the manga, which is something you guys have been talking about for years, and how that could relate to Chainsaw Man's overarching power. So maybe, and we're finding this out right now. Like, I feel like Tuesday's chapter is going to elaborate on this even more. We're going to find out more about the origin of his powers. So we're finally, it might be a little more constructed than we had originally thought. What's up, Lindsay Wild? How are you doing? Oh, predicting Fujimoto was a fool's errand. Yes. FMA and ART are shown in series with lots of fights, but they don't really follow the formula established by Dragon Ball. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Chainsaw Man is adult Fooly Cooly. What are your thoughts on public safety sending Ear Devil to fight the Chainsaw Man? I think it just happened. I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't question it. Whenever Fujimoto just does shit, I just don't question it. What's up, Alexander Chan? How you doing? Furin is not a contradiction so far, in that demons are demons and everyone else is everyone else. People freaked out saying it was bad writing. I do remember that. Someone made, actually, I'm not gonna lie. Someone made a video. Actually, this was the video that my video was recommended under the most, my free run video. Someone made a video about demons in free run and is it racism? I'm not gonna lie to you. That might be the best idea for a YouTube video there has ever been. Holy shit. That video commands that you click on it. Because it's just, maybe not. I don't know. The thumbnail was good. The title was good. The concept was good. Is it racism? I don't know. Probably not. But, you know, at least someone talking about it, because it's a big thing that people have been talking about when it comes to free run. Amazing idea for a video. Whether you agree or disagree, that commands a click. As speaking strictly as a YouTube nerd who likes the stats, who likes learning about click-through rate, titles, thumbnails, who thinks these are all important things, genuinely goated concept for a video. I've tried to do something similar myself as Attack on Titan anti-Semitic. That video is privated now because I just don't think it's a good video. Though that was my most watched video of all time. It has over 100,000 more views than my Dungeon Meshi video. But yeah, holy shit. That free run video, honestly, I barely even watched it, but it got me to click on it because it's like, damn. What does he mean? What does he mean? I want to know, like, I want to know the arguments as to why people think free run is racist. Fantasy just has a lot of evil races in general. That's the thing, you know. I don't know. I forget who made the quote, but someone said famously that J.R.R. Tolkien would hate George R.R. Martin. They both have RRs in their names. It's kind of weird. But Tolkien would hate George R.R. Martin because there's a lot of moral gray area within his writing, whereas Tolkien, essentially the real father of modern fantasy writing, or at least who popularized it, the innovator of it, he believed in straight up good and evil. And I know I compared in my free run video, I compared a lot of free run to Tolkien's writing, and that's another similarity. In free run, there's a decent amount of just good and evil, you know? Sure, there's like a little bit of moral gray area, you know. Free run doesn't care that much for what doesn't concern her. Now she's learning to care more. But, you know, demons are evil. That's the thing. They only exist to manipulate people. They look like people, but they're not people. And that would sound incredibly racist if you were talking about something real. So I get the argument, but, like, you know, it's fantasy writing. It's just, unfortunately, you know, it's a facet of it, right? I know Tolkien's writing was accused of being racist because, you know, there are evil in the Lord of the Rings universe. There are evil races, you know. I mean, Dungeons and Dragons has been doing a lot to kind of sidestep the idea that races are inherently bad. Though whenever I play Dungeons and Dragons, I like to be a tiefling and I like to be bad. I just like I like the idea of of just being someone shiesty. Not every story has to have a high amount of moral ambiguity. I would agree with that. And that's what I think has made free run so good as well. Dungeon Meshi dabbles in moral ambiguity, at least closer to the end, but it's still, I think Dungeon Meshi could fall under this umbrella, as well as, you know, there's good in Dungeon Meshi, there's evil in Dungeon Meshi. There are some people that toe the line a little bit. I know I won't spoil anything past the anime, but if you think like Kabaru, sure, he is a good character, but he did technically kill people. They were bad people, but he did kill them out of his sense of righteousness. What are your overall thoughts on Asa/Yoru's development throughout part 2? It can be individually or as a collective. I don't want to like that's a tricky topic, especially since I haven't been reviewing Chainsaw Man like since last year. I am the type of person that likes to like things. I like to find the best I can in something. I haven't been I haven't been as into Asa and Yoru as characters like I was in the beginning. I was a big fan. Early Chainsaw Man Part 2 is the best Chainsaw Man has ever been, in my opinion. I keep saying I want to stop saying I guess I need to see where they're going, because you know what? The most recent Asa and Yoru we've really had in the manga is, you know, her trying to console Denji, Yoru trying to fight Chainsaw Man, a very infamous chapter where something happened that, you know, was very divisive amongst the fan base. And you know, I was on a podcast about it as well. But to talk about Asa and Yoru's specific development throughout part 2, you know what I'll say about it? If I could say anything, I wish there was more. I wish I could have a better opinion. I feel like there is not enough for me to make any strong claims about how I feel about their development in part 2 so far. I'm certain, you know, in the next few chapters we'll probably get more. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again with Chainsaw Man Part 2. As much I love Denji. Denji's like one of my favorite characters. We need less of him in this manga. If we're to truly have this story be about, I know we have 2 protagonists now, but if we really want like Part 2 to be its own separate story, I think not the entire thing, but you know, we should have had maybe more focus on Asa rather than Denji, you know? You only have 11 people in here. That happens. That's actually more than usual. That is the life of being a smaller streamer, you know? I'm very grateful for anyone who stops in to say hi though. So, hello Savannah, how are you doing? Yeah, they feel like they're in the background for the current arc. And, you know, that's, yeah. Dude, I don't want to, like, say too much of my Chainsaw Man opinions outside of Tuesday when we're going to be talking about both Chainsaw Man and Dandadan. But, yeah, that's my feelings on that. I feel like there is a parallel dimension where we got awesome Asa and Yoru stuff way more, but we are in the wasted potential timeline. Part 2 only feels slower because there's more characters to focus on. That's true. However, I like slower. I like the idea of focusing on more characters. The thing is that it's been slower and focusing. I know, like, there's been great Denji development. You know what? The Denji Depression arc was really good. That's an arc that I feel went on too long. There was too much of it. They expanded upon things that we all wanted to know about, and then did it a little too long when we could have had more Asa and Yoru development. I appreciate that, Temmer. Thank you so much. I know I see a lot of familiar faces every time I stream. I always, everyone who's here, you guys are always so amazing with your support. I very much appreciate you guys so much, you know? I have to say that more. I appreciate you guys. And oh, we absolutely will, bro. We absolutely will. Yeah. I think, you know what? Also, I'd hate to cut the stream early. I know it's been a little over an hour now. I will say I am getting fucked up by this medication I have to take. It like weakens my immune system and everything. It makes me sensitive to the sun even. So I'm probably going to call it here and rest a little bit. I'm gonna have to take this medication for like 6 weeks, so until like September. So I'm gonna try to have the energy to do longer and more fun streams. But yeah, keep an eye out. Tuesday, I'm thinking around the same time, maybe like 11:30. We'll do a Tuesday stream to talk about the newest chapter of Chainsaw Man, as well as the newest chapter of Dandadan, and if I can think of anything else. Yeah, I'm gonna spend probably the rest of the day resting and working on my Too Many Losing Heroines video. I did watch the most recent episode of Too Many Losing Heroines yesterday. Thank you, Universe. Just please like the stream. Yeah, I wish I saved some time to talk about Too Many Losing Heroines, but we can always talk about it later, and I'll talk about it in my video. We can all chat in the comments of that as well. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Thank you guys for spending this morning with me, and you guys have a good one. See you later.